peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm. What I want to say to y'all today is remember, the world is yours. What do I mean by the world is yours? Every day that you wake up with breath in your body, you have the opportunity to change and transform your life in some way. You don't have to be the same person that you were yesterday. You don't have to be the same person you were last year. You don't have to be the same person that you were as a child. You have the opportunity to transform and make magic, bring magic to your life. And no one and no thing can stop that. I don't care if you're in the hospital. I don't care if you're behind bars. I don't care if you just broke up with a loved one. If you lost a loved one, the world is yours. The world is yours. The world is yours. Take advantage of each day. Take a step out of your comfort zone. Do something that scares you. Do it while you're scared and nervous. Try something new. Find a free course and take it over the weekend instead of watching hours of Netflix and decoding it for no reason whatsoever. Take time to pursue your goals, your dreams, your passions, and not just pursue entertainment and gossip that makes you ignore your goals, dreams, and passions. This world is yours. If you want to be healthier, you could do it. If you want to be more fit, you could do it. If you want to learn more, you could do it. If you want to be more, you could do it. You want to be funnier, you could do it. You want to be more charming, you could do it. You want to be psychic, you could do it. You want to be able to manipulate your environment to your favor, you can do it. You want to be lucky, you can do it. It's all about what's up. It's all about programming. It's all about repetition. And it's all about an understanding that you truly are a God body. And not just in word, but in deed. And if you look at the variety of animals, minerals, plant life, and humans, you'll realize that there's always something new. There's always something new being discovered. They just recently discovered like a new type of crab, right? There's like thousands of versions of frogs. Like I believe in the hundreds of thousands. Like life's about variety. Life's about change. You know, an acorn turns into an oak tree through growth, through the light of information, through the light of awareness, through the light of a clear vision, right? And also through water, emotion, flow state, waves, right? Even light moves on waves. Your brain moves on waves, right? Your breath, waves. So what wave are you controlling? What are you producing? We all seen Scarface, right? He had a dream, and his dream was to sell death, right? But you can learn a lot even from a so-called negative story. And the biggest lesson was that he came to America with a mission. And his mission was to get what he deserved, what he felt he deserved, and what he wanted by any means necessary. And there's a lot of people that are quote unquote spiritual that won't go hard for themselves. That won't go hard to study. that don't follow the natural cycles, right? Called astrology, that don't do rituals, that don't meditate, right? That don't ground, that don't go out in nature, that don't listen to binaural beats, that don't take spirit baths, right? You got to put in this work. You got to know your birth chart. You got to know your big three, your sun, moon, your rising. You got to know your human design, right? You got to know your numerology, your life path, your number for this year. These are things you got to know. These are things you got to study. This is not a path for the weak. This is not a path for those who just want to follow. Take your ass back to church and follow the preacher then. All you need is one book, is the Bible, in that particular religion. But guess what? There are gifts and benefits that come from following the esoteric path that don't come with following Christianity, right? But at the same time, if you are sincerely following the path of Christ, you will know that he says you will do things greater than he. If you believe in him, right? So believing in him is not believing in him physically, because Jesus was not an egomaniac. Jesus was about the poor. He was about the downtrodden. He was about the sick, right? He helped the prostitute, everybody. So it's really about, he really was talking about, when he said, if you believe in me, he's talking about the Christ in him, the anointing in him, right? The spirit in him. And that you will be able to do miracles and magic too. Jesus is ultimately a magician, right? You can't say Bible's not turning, if you believe the literal story, right? Turning water to wine and walking on water, and what we all know these are, well, some of us know these are parables, right? The sun, when it raises in the morning, looks like it's walking on water, right? And when it sets, if you look in the ocean, it looks like the sun is walking on water, right? So these are metaphors. Astrotheology is something you could look up yourself. Astrotheology, right? Which is what the Bible's made up of. But I say all this to say, it's your world. Do with it what you came here to do. Find your purpose. Find out why you're here. Live, laugh, smile at things. When people throw hate and throw shade, laugh at it, smile at it. Don't take things too serious. Life is short, right? But it gets shorter the more stressed out you are, right? It gets shorter the more stressed out you are. And you start getting sick and having all these ailments and you don't know why. So step into your power. Start today. Start with something, anything. The world is yours. If you want more money, learn a skill. Learn a skill. There's the stock market. There's the crypto market. There's the crystal market. There's, drop shipping. There's creating your own website, putting something on Shopify. There's, learning how to sell things, right? There's plenty of videos by the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort, to start with, right? It's a good salesperson to teach you how to sell. There's nothing wrong with selling. It's not anything evil. Whenever you go on an interview for a job, you got to sell yourself anyway. So sales is a great tool to have. We made a lot of money in doing sales, right? So I say all this to say, the world is yours. If you're in poverty, don't be sitting up here waiting for reparations or waiting for the government or waiting for Trump or another president to come in and drop stimulus checks on you. That ain't gonna happen, right? And if it does happen, it's in order to keep you dependent on the system, right? It's in order to keep you dependent on the system. And you want to be independent, especially walking a path, an esoteric path, where you're dealing with deities and gods and your ancestors, right? And the people you should be working with the most on this path is your ancestors. Your ancestors are in your bloodline, direct bloodline. Not to say that the deities or the gods aren't your ancestors, but your ancestors are your direct connect. So those are the people you want to appease the most, right? great-grandma, great-grandpa who survived slavery and survived the Middle Passage and survived atrocities in Africa, the slavery in Africa and all that, right? And no matter what culture or color, there's been slavery. The world is yours. The world is yours. The world is yours. Take a hold of it, grasp it by the horns, and do something. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstone.